In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products?
Our media product draws on most conventions of a thriller opening sequence. Fast action, mixture of fast and slow editing, and other key aspects from the genre ensure that the target audience is obtained. Although our piece does not directly challenge many aspects of a thriller, it uses some to capture an audience that will enjoy the creative use of the motifs and conventions associated with this genre. Like a typical thriller opening sequence, we use a soundtrack to enhance the themes of the clip. The music we used was music from an amateur musician from the video sharing site YouTube, in which we asked permission to use. In the editing process, we manipulated and volume automated the tracks to fit the scenes in our piece like a typical opening sequence. We made sure that the music fit the genre because the original riff used in the track we asked to use is copied from a thriller horror movie called Saw and contains the right energy to emphasize the chase scene. How does your media product represent certain social groups? Our media product represents mainly the young adult social group, as the actors featured are 18. Although this may appear to have its limitations in terms of connecting with a wider audience, it should instantly create a new audience, as the appeal of a younger cast may draw people of the same age who wouldn't usually go to see a thriller. Although we often see slightly older cast members in thrillers, Bruce Willis in the Die Hard series for example, the idea of selecting a predominantly younger cast seems to be increasingly popular. Shia LaBeouf and Sarah Rimmer in Disturbia, for example. Both these actors are young and had little acting experience before, yet Disturbia hit #1 and made $23 million in its first week of release, from a small budget of just $20 million. Worldwide, it made $117 million, providing that a young cast can appeal to people beyond its assumed audience.
What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why?
The young age of our cast members does not reflect the average age of an actor in a thriller. This does not mean that studios will not be interested in our piece. For example, Film 4 took great interest and saw the potential in the film This Is England.
How did you attract and address your audience?
Similarly to Disturbia's young cast, the age range of actors in our sequence attracts and reflects the target audience. Because we chose the concept of an unusual occurrence happening in a normal situation, part of our mise-en-scene was the character's clothing, which portrayed normal, typical teenage fashion sense, which again appeals to the audience and attracts larger numbers. According to research posted on the Pundine website, the demographic for pieces such as ours is predominantly males aged between 20 and 35. Although the predominantly male demographic may stay the same for our piece, the age may change as our thriller piece contains mainly younger actors and actresses. This means we may expect the demographic to, in terms of age, to start earlier than we expect. So maybe people of age 18 and up would want to see this film as it contains themes and actors that they may be able to relate to. As well as this, the themes of gang warfare, violence, and money can also be related to the issues faced by the youth of today, therefore making this piece relevant for them and something they'd want to go and see when thinking about spending their money in the cinema. What have you learnt about technologies from the process of constructing the product? During the planning, filming and editing phases, we learned how to combine various technologies, software and hardware to create the final cut product. As last year, we had the issue that with taking the college's Steadicams off-site outside of college hours, we used our own camera device. Although the quality of image was poorer, our plot and storyline would have been weaker if our location was limited to college grounds. We edited and manipulated sound and video in the software Final Cut Pro. That acquisition and implement of skills needed to use this program were paramount to the successful editing of our piece. Through the use of these various technologies and devices, we learned that attention to detail and technological convergence are paramount to creating an opening sequence.
Looking back to your preliminary task, what do you feel that you have learnt in the progression from it to the full product?
From the very early stages to the final cut, we have learnt a number of valuable lessons when considering the technicalities and complications that we are faced with as creators of an opening sequence. We have collectively realised that continuity is an issue of great importance, as physical changes to actors and surroundings can set filming back and look unprofessional. In addition to the issue of continuity, the time frame and correct use of time allocated is also an issue we have learned crucial lessons from. In order to use the time as efficiently as possible, a time plan or time frame should be at least agreed upon, and preferably written down in order to complete filming with sufficient time to edit. That said, we are aware we have exceeded the time limit of our opening sequence, but we found it difficult to set the soundtrack to the plot in our sequence without exceeding the time limit slightly. We feel this does not affect the quality of our piece,